if we want to change our circumstances, our body, whatever the case may be, it requires us to do at least two things. You know what I mean? The first one is be honest with ourselves that we're not doing everything to the best of our ability or there's more that we can be doing. And then the second thing is taking accountability. And I guess that comes with like being honest, but being accountable and putting all the blame on yourself. Because there's one thing about being honest and just looking for the right answer, but there's another thing to be accountable and to understand that you was doing the wrong things in order to pursue the right way of doing things. You know what I mean? And it's very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to look yourself in the mirror, strip yourself down, and to really realize that it was me this whole time. You know what I mean? Because we with ourselves 24/7 every day. So it's like the one person you want to be able to trust and the one person you want to be able to know that's doing everything right outside of like God, if you're religious, whatever the case may be, is yourself. So you got to ask yourself, with that being said, and please be honest. You got to be honest because that's the only way you're going to change. Why don't you have your dream body yet? And if you have your dream body, why isn't your life the way you envision it? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. You know what I mean? Because at a certain point in time, you can't blame nobody but yourself. When you're younger, yeah, you may have the excuse and the privilege to blame your environment, blame your parents because there's more things out of your control, more things that you just brought on to that you didn't have a say so in. But as you get older, there's a lot of things that we interact with on a regular basis that nobody told us to do. There's a lot of things and a lot of things, a lot of time we spend on things that get us nowhere that nobody told us to do. So same thing goes with your body. If you don't have your dream body, if you're not hitting the gym, that's your fault. You can't blame your parents for not going to the gym. You can't say, "Oh, I got bad genetics." And the crazy part is, instead of just finding a solution to the missing puzzle piece, because a lot of the times when you're not where you want to be, you're not that far away. If you've been working and making progress in some direction, usually it's a small detail, small tweaks, small steps that get you to that big goal. You know what I mean? So a lot of y'all are not that far away. You know what I mean? It's just you being consistent and adding a little detail. But if you don't have your dream body, if your life's not where it needs to be, that's something you only can blame yourself. And maybe you might not be at the end destination of them things because more things require more effort than other things. You know what I mean? So maybe you're on a pursuit. You know what I mean for your dream body, or on a pursuit to live the life of your dreams. But even if you're not where you are, as far as like the steps in progress, why is that? Why aren't you where you need to be? I remember when I first started getting into working out. I first started getting into working out. I was about. I've always liked lifting. I've really been lifting since I was 13, but obviously when you're younger, you're going through the motions, and I'm playing basketball. So basketball, I didn't want to lose my form, so I didn't want to like take working out too serious. But I did want to be big because as a young kid, you see action figures, you see your favorite WWE stars, and they all muscular. So muscle was just like a, I guess, indirect code of being a man. When you think of manly, you think of muscles being a man, as well as money, providing, and all them things. When I was younger, I thought about having muscles, and I always worked out, always was determined to hit the gym, all that. You couldn't tell me to stay at the gym, but I was never getting bigger. I really never complained that much about it because I just liked going to the gym and working out. 'Cause I guess it did something to my mental more than my physical at that point in time. But I always kept going to the gym, always kept going to the gym. Then a time came when I stopped playing basketball. I played D3 for about 1.5 years. Maybe this will be a story time in the future. But long story short, that's when I started researching how to actually build muscle, how to actually get big. Because when I was younger, I'm just thinking you just lift weights and then you automatically just magically put on size. But that's not really the case. You really got to eat to gain weight to then build muscle. You know what I mean? So after I learned that I had to really eat, and then I started tracking my calories and understanding like, okay, I thought I was eating a lot, but no, you really got to eat according to your weight, according to like how much you move and your activity in a regular day, and all those things. That's a lot of factors. Your height. But then I started gaining muscle. My body started to change because the little detail, just going on Google and researching how to get big, going on YouTube and researching how to get big, and just watching videos, short videos, but that basically just gave me the small detail to what I was missing. Eat more. That's all I was missing for me to see the progress and see the results that I want to see. So for you guys, and it's the same way. You're one detail, you're one small detail away from seeing the progress and seeing the things that you want to see. But if you don't start now, you'll never see it. And you're doing yourself a disservice, especially with the body. You're doing yourself a disservice. Any man not working on their body, you're missing all the opportunity that life will present to you if you take care of yourself. I know we don't want to live in a world to where we judge people by their physical appearance, but that's who we are. You know what I mean? Some people have the, I guess, wherewithal to see a person from the inside out, but for the most people, especially for first instances, you're gonna judge a lot from the outside. You know what I mean? But you can attract good attention and not just bad attention if you work in your body, because when your body is fit, that signals indirect things as far as like discipline, hard work, you know what I mean, structuring your life, you know what I mean, a lot of masculine qualities. So my best analogy for that is like I like to compare it to, and obviously people aren't food, but a lot of things in this world are interconnected. It don't look the same on the outside, but on the inside, it kind of, the process is the same. So just like how you can go to a restaurant, perfect example. You know how restaurants love to like present the food good. It has to be a good presentation. The little leaf on this meal right here, put it on there like that. If your food can really taste the same. Your food can really taste the same, but it doesn't look presented well. It might tick you off. It might make you taste the food differently. You know what I mean? It might make you not even finish the meal. But when the food is presented better, when the food is presented good, that makes you want to enjoy it more. That makes the food that much more enjoyable. The experience with the food, you know what I mean? That kind of gives it uh, a code that makes it kind of taste better. You know what I mean? An underlying message that it kind of tastes better. You know what I mean? Because it looks good. So you're kind of already assuming that it's going to taste good because it looks good. But just because it looks good doesn't mean it's going to taste good. It's kind of the same with the physical appearance. Obviously, your physical body isn't everything, but it kind of reflects a lot of traits from your internal state. Somebody who has a great internal state, who's happy, who's hardworking, disciplined, like I just said it before, structured, their body, their physical is going to reflect that. Whether they got good skin, whether they take care of themselves, they're well groomed, or whether they have a lot of muscle and their body is fit. You don't got to be the most muscular dude, but as long as you fit, you know what I mean. So you're missing out on how life treats you once you show life those qualities. You know what I mean. I have another story time, but before I started building muscle, I was getting a lot of cutes and adorables and like a little puppy. You know what I mean. After I started building muscle, girls were saying I was a man, and I really didn't know how to take it at first. But they was like, "Yeah, like you look like a man now," and it's all because I built muscle. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if you're not seeing the results from your body, you're probably not that far away. But if you're not there yet, you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know what I mean? Take the accountability, find the right answer so you can start heading into the right direction. You know what I mean? Because there's so much opportunity out here that will present itself to you once you show the world that you kind of love yourself and you take care of yourself.